Now, I love my GTRs, my Supras, and my RX-7s, but maybe I'm kind of weird, but I actually enjoy finding cars that I have never heard about or just never really see be brought up in conversations. All these cars are very niche cars that have enthusiasts for them, but not that much street cred, if you know what I mean. Now, I'm not here to give a history lesson on these cars because there are a bunch of videos that go over overviews, breakdowns, POVs, whatever you want to say about these cars. I just wanted to show some love to these cars. And I also wanted to kind of score them with a few categories to determine if I personally could see myself owning one of these cars. And this is without looking at the negatives of each car and the weaknesses and things like that, what makes a car hard to work on, stuff like that. I'm not going to look at it at a technical point, just from a, if I did like it this much, would I buy it? And these are all basic categories. You got feels, looks, cosmetic modifications, prices, and overall vibe. Looks is how the car looks in stock form. Feels is how it would make me feel to sit inside the car. Cosmetic modifications is how well the car looks when it's modified. The price is what's the bang for your buck. And the overall vibe is just the overall score to see what I personally want to put up with the headache and would I actually think about buying it if I ever had a chance to. But hey, you clicked the video, happy to have you here. But you already know what I'm talking about. Uncommon cars, baby. Or I guess you could say cars that aren't really talked about that much. Whichever one you want to say, it doesn't matter. They're either weirdly shaped, weirdly made, or weirdly marketed like the first car in this list. The Dodge Stealth. AKA the 3000 GT's ugly twin brother. Not my words. That's just how people usually talk about this car whenever I bring it up at all. These two cars look very identical, and that's probably because they are basically identical. They are the same damn thing. I'm sorry, they are exactly the same damn car. These cars came in 4 trims: the base, the RS, the RT, and the RT Turbo. Is it really a 90s sports car if it doesn't have turbos? Yes, it is. It's still a 90s car. I don't care what anybody say. Just showing a little NA love there. But getting right into the ranking, the looks. The base form of the Dodge Stealth would be a solid 8 for me, actually. And that comes down to the fact that I do prefer the styling of the 3K GT just a little bit more. But the styling on this car is very much so underrated still. But it gets I really want to say 5, but I'll give it a solid 6 with the horrendous wing. I hate that wing. 6 with wing, 8 without. Moving on to feels, which is easily a 9 for me. This cockpit has a really nice feel to it. Now, I prefer charcoal or black interior over tan, but even in this car, it actually works pretty well. And I could easily see myself feeling all the vibes while I'm in the driver's seat of this bad baby. Now, onto the modded Dodge Stealth. Simply putting this car on coils with a nice wheel setup would easily make it a 10 in this category. I love the 3K GT, so anything that makes that car look good automatically makes this one look good, so I rest my case. Now, the prices are a good 6.5 to 8 out of 10. And I say that because it really does depend on how lucky you get with one of these. For a clean Stealth with minimal miles, you usually can find some car lots for around 14 to 20,000, with higher mileage cars being around 5 to 10K. On Facebook Marketplace, you could find solid deals if you're really doing your due diligence this time around. Prices can range from around 1,000 to 10,000 depending on the conditions and mileages. So I'd have to give it a 7 overall to split it, but pretty decent in my eyes, just saying. Now that brings me to the overall vibe of the car. Yes, this is really just a rebranded 3K GT or a crappier version of it, whichever one you want to say. But overall, I think it's a solid 8 no matter what. Even if the styling is different between the two, they are still essentially the same thing. And I love the 3K GT, which is a car that I just can't get over how good it looks. Now, would I own one? I'd say maybe. I can't say that I wouldn't, and I couldn't say that I actually would. And the reason why I say that is because I love the 3K GT, And I actually would personally own one of those. But I don't know if I would like the styling of this one better or worse. It's just kind of weird. So that's why I'm just saying maybe. Who knows? Maybe I'm feeling lucky today. Or quirky? Quirky. I meant quirky. Realistically, I think I'd just rather go with the GT. But who knows? Maybe I have a change of heart. This is an overall 7.5 out of 10 car for me as of now. So, on to the next. The Dodge Caliber SRT4. A four-banger that I never see at car meets, car shows, really anything dealing with cars. And you also have the Caliber counterpart that's one of the most lackluster cars that you can get on the market today. But he was also hiding his cool brother because he didn't want people to like him more than they love him, I guess. Whatever. I don't know what I was trying to say there. I love the SRT. This is one of those cars that I'm really surprised isn't talked about more than it is, because despite it being an uncommon car, it's actually the most normal uncommon car on this list. The styling is pretty tame and it feels pretty tuner worthy. But I digress. The stock form of the Caliber is actually extremely minimal, but aggressive at the same time. Like, you don't need to do too much to make it look better than it already does. It's weird, but just go with me here. And for this to be a borderline SUV, it still gets a solid 8. Now, moving on to the feels of the car, the interior is not the best, but it's not the worst, I guess. Alright, where it falls short in is the steering wheel and the dash. I don't know why in the early 2000s Dodge had this ugly plastic look in every one of the cars that they made, but I hated it. Now, the seats and the space in the car is what bumps this up to a 6.7, because the space was really generous and the seats and the cloth are really nice to the eyes, and I'm pretty sure it's nice to the butt. Nice to the butt, nice to the butt. Okay. Now, most of the cosmetic stuff that people have done with the Caliber are pretty simplistic, but when a car already has a pretty good figure, it's not too much more that you could do with it to make it better. But this car with the wide body looks 6 and is getting a 10. Suck my nuts. Now, for the price, I think it's actually a really good bang for your buck. You could easily make a good deal on some of the project cars that are on Facebook Marketplace, ranging from 1K to 5K, and the cap I've seen on these cars are around 12,000, to be honest. I haven't seen any go anywhere near 20,000 at all. The baseline for a really clean Caliber sits around 8,000 to 10,000, but you could definitely catch a deal on these for way cheaper. So it's a 9 in my book for prices. Now, the overall vibe I have for this car is definitely enough for me to actually want to own one of these. Despite the interior being questionable, I can deal with that since the actual car itself is really appealing to me. And the fact that this is one that could be a really fun daily driver and have an ample amount of space for whatever you need is just enough for me to actually want to own one. I do love the Caliber SRT4 and it gets a solid 9 out of 10 for me. But on to the next. Now, be honest and don't lie. Have you ever heard about this car before? Because before about a year ago, I had never heard about this car. I mean, never heard about the Dodge Daytona. And no, not this car. Definitely not this car. This car. The Dodge Daytona IROC RT. And not the one from the 80s, but the one from the 90s. Both are uncommon, but I'm talking about the one from the 90s, which technically aren't the same car anyways. But I digress. This car looks like it's a secret love child of multiple different cars. It looks like it wants to be JDM, but its religion is America. Or American. Or whatever the fuck I was even trying to say. The point is, this is one of the most uncommon cars on this list by far. And if I ever had to say anything about Dodge in the early 90s and 2000s, it's that they were experimental back then. Even if they copied and pasted almost everything they did. But whatever. Don't hate me for this, even though you will anyways. But for the looks, it's gonna have to get a 6 for me. It's, okay, so look, it's a party in the back, and the front is flat. You see the rhyme I did there? Okay, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't look bad per se, but it just looks like two cars that got stitched together because they didn't know what style they wanted to go with. If I was to rate them separately, the back is an 8 and the front is a 4.5, if I'm being realistically. But the side profile is pretty nice, and I probably would get that at 8. So I don't know. I'm all mixing that bag. The interior does its job. It's not anything really crazy, but it's also not anything completely repulsive. So it gets a solid 7 in my book. Functional is the best way to go no matter what. And despite what you say, the seats look extremely comfortable. Now, how about them bills? Well, it gets a fat ass 0. Now, put down your pitchforks because that's not a bad score. I just actually couldn't find any cosmetic bills on the Daytona, like the IROC version at least. But that doesn't mean it's really a bad thing. It just means it passes this category kind of by default. Because a car that's usually left in stock mint condition by most owners isn't something that I feel I should judge, so it passes with an NA rating. Now, the prices are actually a pretty good bang for your buck. Most I could find on Marketplace barely scraped the $5,000 mark. And most of the examples I would find were pretty clean from my perspective. But looks can be deceiving, so please do your homework, kids. Now that takes me to the big question. Would I personally see myself owning this car? Or just maybe wanting it? No, I don't. Now, this isn't a bad car at all, nor is it a car that I dislike, because I actually like this car. But it's not a car that I could see myself personally driving, nor do I feel like I could actually personally pull it off. But I would definitely like to drive the car because I do like to experience all types of cars that I can. But I don't think I have the aura to pull this car off. My mustache ain't man enough. But on to the next and last car on this list. The Dodge Conquest. One of the laziest rebadges I've seen. The rebadge on the Conquest makes the Dodge Stealth actually look like creativity. Cause the Conquest and the Mitsubishi, I hate saying that name, I hate saying that name, are literally the same car, but we're not here to judge. We listen and we don't judge. Well, we are, but you know what I mean. But how do I feel about this stock form of this car? Well, complete shit. I'm joking. I'm joking. I actually really love the design of this car, and I guess you can call this a two-in-one car because the love I have for this car goes to the Starion as well because they are, like I said, the same damn car. And despite which car you prefer, it doesn't matter. The design on this car, either one, is so damn underrated. While this car is another four-banger, I swear to God, its spiritual animal is a V8 because it screams nothing but 80s muscle from the back to the front to the side profile. Everything is just put together to make this car not to be messed with. This car is definitely a 9.5 for me out of looks alone. And I've only seen one in person, and ever since then, I've wanted to drive one so bad, but I'm getting ahead of myself. On to the feels. Let's feel it. Let's feel it down. Let me feel your skin. Okay. The interior is such a mix of I want to be a commuter, but I also want to be a sports car, and it handles that really well, which is so weird to me. The 80s interiors always had a very distinct vibe to them every time you sat in them, and this one is no different. The gauge cluster just makes you feel like you're about to blast off to space, and I love it for that. So I definitely give it an 8.5 out of 10. Now, crazy enough, the cosmetic mods are actually really out there with this car. There's definitely a cult following behind these cars, and it shows. So finding mods on this car was actually pretty damn easy. And I do have to say that I love this car even more when it has cosmetic upgrades. It's 100% respected in my book to like a car in stock form, but for me, I love when a car is just upgraded in a nice, unique way. So when it comes down to this category, it definitely gets a 10 out of 10. Now, the bang for your buck is really a 50-50 deal, but usually more on the positive side more than the negative. Most of the examples that I found were pretty tame for what they were. They're usually sitting around $5,000 for one that's in good shape and around $2,000 to $3,000 for one in a decent or not running shape, so I have to give it a 6.8 out of 10. Now, for the question you've all been waiting for. Or not, I don't, whatever. Would I personally go out of my way to own this car? Could I see myself driving down the street in this car? Well, duh, of course, I would. Don't get me wrong, I don't exactly think this car fits my personality exactly, because, The manly mustache ain't really there for real. But this time around, I don't think I really care. Cause the vibe of this car is enough to make me want to own it regardless. And that goes for the Starion as well. They're essentially the same car, so I definitely buy that car as well. And this category gets a 9 out of 10 from me. I love this car, by the way. And there you have it. A few common cars that you probably didn't know about, or did and just wanted to hear somebody yap about them for about, 16, 17 minutes. And despite wanting to own or not owning one of these cars, all of these cars are still intriguing to me when I actually see them. Seeing unique cars is always a treat for me, no matter the car, honestly. And appreciating the underrated ones is something that I always enjoy doing. Now, this video is nothing but Dodge uncommon cars, but I do have other car brands with uncommon cars that will be coming in future videos. And if you'd like to see me talk about a specific car that's not well known, then drop a comment in the comment section below. And let me know which cars you guys would like to see. And if you've gotten this far and found some type of entertainment from it at all, then consider leaving a like. It really helps the algorithm, and consider subscribing to stay tuned and updated on all the videos, because we manly mans over here. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me either. And if you're interested in video games, consider checking out some of my other videos, where I talk about a whole bunch of different video games that I enjoy playing. But with that being said, I'll see you peeps later. Soto out. Peace.